Hey guys, so I guess this is my first YouTube vlog. Yeah, I know my hair looks crazy and it's dark. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. So, I just wanted to talk to you guys about my miscarriage and tell you my story. I kind of go into detail about it, so if you're not comfortable watching the details, I suggest you don't. It was December 1st. I found out I was pregnant. December 4th, I started spotting, and I went up to the ER, and they ran test after test and did ultrasounds, and I was there for, not kidding you guys, 7.5 hours. And most of it was just waiting on tests and blood work and all that fun stuff. And my hair looks really bad. The doctor came back, said baby and I were fine. I guess some spotting was normal. It was my first baby, so I was excited, and so was my husband, and we were like, could not wait. Baby was supposed to be born in July, June or July. And so I had already started getting baby stuff. I know it was really short notice, but I was excited, and I came back from the hospital and I called one of my friends and I said, hey, I'm pregnant and you're going to be an aunt. And we called his mom for an early Christmas gift, and we said, hey, you're going to be a grandma because we can't wait till Christmas. And throughout the week, I started spotting again. And on December 11th, I started not spotting but bleeding, and I had quite a deal of pain with it. But my husband was at work, and I'm the type of person, I don't like bothering him at work, even when it's an emergency. So I said, they told me it was fine. It was probably just the baby saying, hey mom, I'm here, gotta get comfy, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. But as the day went on, the pain got worse and worse, to the point it was unbearable. And he finally came home, and we went to the hospital, and they did more blood work and more tests and ultrasound. And when they took me down for the ultrasound, they took a little bit, and she turned the monitor away so I couldn't see anything. So at that point, I really knew something wasn't right. And she called another tech in. They kept telling me something was on the screen, and I didn't believe them. And they said they were gonna turn some sound on, and I was gonna hear the blood rushing through, which I come from a big family, so I know what that means. It means they're looking for a heartbeat. And I was listening, and all I could hear was one, and it was mine. And I couldn't hear my baby's heartbeat. And at that point, I knew that the baby was gone. So I just kind of tried not to cry, even though they didn't tell me. And I didn't really want to ask because I already kind of knew. Before I went to the hospital, something just wasn't right. It didn't feel right. And I went back up to the room with my husband, and I said, I think the baby's gone. But he's like, no, everything's going to be fine. It's going to be great. Nothing can happen. This is our first, and nothing's going to go wrong. An hour and a half later, the doctor finally came in, and she looked at me and she said, sweetie, I don't know how to tell you this. There's no easy way. But we couldn't find a heartbeat. And according to the ultrasound, you were 5 weeks, 5 days. But when I went on the 4th, they told me I was 6 weeks, so I'm still kind of not 100% sure what I was, if I was the 6 weeks or the 5 weeks, 5 days. She basically said the baby stopped growing, and I just kind of sat there. I looked like a deer in a headlight. I wanted to cry, but I'm not the type of person to cry in public. I looked over at my husband, and you could tell his heart went from his chest to his stomach. And the doctor said, "Is there anything I can do?" And I looked at her and I said, "Bring my baby back." And I knew she couldn't, but I had to say it. And they discharged us. And they put us in a room and told us that this is what was going to happen, and I should expect pain, and they prescribed me some ibuprofen and said that just to wait it out. And that was on a Thursday, and comes Friday afternoon, the pain got really, really bad. And I guess that's what they were calling the contractions. I finally fell asleep, I think around 2 in the morning on Friday. And we got up Saturday, and I called my mom, and I told her, "Hey Mom, you had a grandbaby, but we lost it." And that was the hardest call, other than calling his mom, because on the 4th, while we were sitting there waiting, we called his mom and said, "Hey, guess what? We can't wait to tell you till Christmas, but you're gonna be grandma." So calling my mom Saturday and calling his mom Saturday was rough. And it was actually right after I got off the phone with my mom around 1:30 Saturday afternoon. I felt like I had to use the restroom, and I went in, and I had some pressure, but it wasn't what everyone told me it was going to feel like. I just kind of looked down as I was pulling my pants down, and I saw this drop of blood, like this ball of blood, and I kind of grabbed it, and it was a little bigger than a grape. And I just dropped to the floor, and I started crying, and I had blood all over my hands, and I had my baby in my hands, and I just started crying my eyes out. And I texted a friend, and I said, "I can't do this. I can't do this." And my husband's sitting in the living room, as I wasn't sure if I should call him in and be there with me. I wanted him there, but I just wasn't sure if he wanted it. And she told me to go in with him and to talk to him and see if he wanted to go in and see the baby. And he said he did. And we went in there together, and he just kind of held me, and we kind of held each other and cried. It was definitely hard. Later on Saturday night, it was probably around 7 or 8, when I guess what they called the placenta finally came out. I guess I should probably tell you when the first part came out. The baby actually came out in the sac. You could actually kind of see the umbilical cord that was in there. I couldn't quite make out a baby. I wasn't that far along, but you could definitely see the umbilical cord, that was for sure. And I just kind of sat there and cried for the next week. I kind of went into a really deep depression and blamed myself. Monday morning, Sunday, I just kind of dealt with it, and I just laid in bed all day and bawled my eyes out. Boxes of tissues, rolls of toilet paper, pillowcases. I ran out of everything else. Got tears on them. And Monday, I went to an OB. I didn't go to my OB. Oops. Because when they told me to go back the next day, they said they couldn't get me in, even though ER told me I needed to. And I do suggest, if you do have an OB that says they can't get you in the next day after you find out that you're having a miscarriage, find a new doctor. That's what I did. I drove 4.5 hours to a different state so I could go to a doctor, so I didn't have to wait a week. And I went to the doctor, and I spent a good hour and a half there because I had so many questions that needed to be answered. Like, why? Why did this happen? Why does it happen to us? Why us? And did I do something wrong? Was it my fault? Could I have done something different? And this poor doctor, I think he probably thought I was crazy by the end of the whole thing. Because I literally went from when I found out I was pregnant to the moment I walked into his doctor's office, of what I did and how I did, what prenatals I was taking, and all this other stuff. And he just looked at me and told me, "Sweetie, it's not your fault. It happens. And that we could try again." And I just looked at him and I said, "I don't think I can. I really don't think I can. I don't want to lose a second one. I physically and mentally don't think I can." And so I went home. The 4.5 hour drive home, I bawled my eyes out, and cried. And my husband's he was supportive and telling me it was going to be okay, and there's still plenty of years we can have another one. And it was hard. And so I suggest, if you are going through this, don't try to go through it alone. I know that in your head you think that is the best decision, but it really isn't. It's now January 14th, so 1 month to the day that I lost the little one. I just found out I'm pregnant again. So, I guess you do get pregnant quickly afterwards. I didn't realize how quickly it was going to happen. I definitely didn't want it to be quite this quick, because I'm still in the grieving process, but I'm definitely more of a doctor's person, because before all this, I was not a big fan of the doctors. And so I'm hoping everything goes okay with this one. And I will let you know how this pregnancy goes through. And we'll post baby pics and all that fun stuff of ultrasounds. So, we'll see. I know it's not a very long story. I know you're probably expecting it was long and stuff, but it was just the fact that it's not an easy thing to go through by yourself. So that's, I guess, what my point is. Don't try to do it by yourself. And I guess get a puppy, because that's what I did. Get a puppy, and it will kind of help you through it. Yeah, my husband was there, very supportive, but there was that little thing that said, "Hey, I need something here with me when you're not home." So, I hope this helps someone else that's going through this or has gone through this. And I know there's lots of other ones that are on YouTube, and Lord knows I watched every one of them. And my heart goes out to all of you guys that have had a miscarriage, because I know it's hard. But life goes on. So I will keep you guys updated on how this one goes. And I hope I add this right, because I've never done this before. So I guess on that note, I hope this helps. I really do. So, bye guys.